Hi everyone, I'm going to walk you through some ways that you might think about visual and oral rhetoric. I'm going to play this video and stop it, every 5 or 10 seconds or so I can point out what's happening rhetorically in the film so that you have a better eye for your video this week when you choose a video to analyze. So what you'll notice so far is that there are a lot of different shots and they all take place in different settings. It's outdoors. We see the girl, the camera shot angle is behind her and her dad, and they're heading out to the ocean and they throw the ball, and now there's a zoom out shot of them tossing the ball back and forth, and you see the waves in the background. It creates a really serene, happy atmosphere. There's a lot of emotional appeal already where you can see the relationship and how moving it is, this connection between dad and daughter. And this is something that comes out and emerges all throughout this video clip. The setting changes here with a different father and daughter relationship, and they're out like on the countryside, on some land, on the grass, and you can see them tossing this baseball or softball back and forth, and the dad is catching it, and he's even saying good. Notice how it's a downward angle shot right here too, with the girl tossing the ball to her dad. So sometimes whoever's tossing, whoever's catching, it goes back and forth between these clips. And just the angle of the shot type is really interesting. It's always different. What's great about what you're seeing here with these two daughters tossing the balls are that they're not even like perfect throws, right? There's a lot of imperfection. This girl, she drops the ball, and this girl's a little bit younger and she tries to toss it, and there's just a lot of patience in the process of throwing and catching and having this moment between the father and the daughter. What you're noticing is a variety of different kinds of families. Sometimes it's outside the house, sometimes it's inside the house. There's this encouragement. The dad here says, throw it to daddy. And there's just some beautiful angles here, too. Like there's one where we see the ball being tossed in. Look at this over the shot, over the shoulder angle, and then it's kind of blurred in the background, but you can tell there's this moment being exchanged with the ball being tossed. So I love this because it's an unusual kind of shot. It's not one where we see just from a distant point of view or up close facial shots like you would in right here. This is an up close shot, right, of the little girl's face. You can also see, of course, there's a lot of diversity in the family types and the age groups and just the different families. Notice the overview of the narrator's voice too. So you're hearing two different you're hearing two different oral rhetorical strategies. There's the main female narrator voice walking us through these different scenes, and there's a lot of pauses in between, but also you have the actual families reacting as they miss the ball or catch the ball, or they're giving encouraging words. There are two different layers here, right? So the narrator's main voice, but then you also hear each different families' moment and how they just authentically react as they're exchanging the ball being thrown or tossed or hit. I love the outdoor examples too. How it can happen anywhere, right? There's this without the visual rhetoric, we wouldn't be able to realize how easy it is to have this ball exchange. Sometimes it's outside the house, sometimes it's inside, sometimes it's during the day, sometimes it's at night, sometimes it's in the grass, other times it's on the beach. There's so many forms that a simple act like this could take place, which is part of the visual argument that we wouldn't get to see if it was just oral or auditory. I love this over the shot, over the shoulder angle. I love that angle from the hallway, and now we're looking at this nice slow motion of the ball going back and forth. Look at that. Slow motion because it's like a big balloon. The laughter. Look at the close-up shots of the facial expressions. Not every camera angle is like this, but it's important for emotional appeal, right? Whenever you have somebody directing a film and they want it to be really zoomed up close, it's because we want to see the emotional reaction, whether it's elation or pain or anger, on the person's face. Look at their body language, the way they were just holding hands. I love that pool shot. So here's the zoom in one, but the other one was outside so you could see the pool and you can see her jumping in and she's like, Dad. And it's very, it's still playful. She's not upset with him. The tone is just like it caught her off guard or the timing of it. And it's just a very fun, playful kind of exchange, even though we don't see the dad. Here, notice sometimes we see the daughter and sometimes we see the daughter and we don't see the dad, right? Like in that pool shot. Okay, so we see the daughter catching the ball, but we don't see the dad. And then in the next scene, notice what's selected and left out. We see the dad with the ball, but we don't see actually who tossed him the ball as he says, whoa. So it's really amazing what's selected in these clips and what's left out. Notice more encouraging words, sometimes both daughter and father in the shot. Notice the different kind of balls that are being tossed. Sometimes it's a football, and even it's great that sub-argument that a girl can even throw a football, and it's okay, and it's good when it's with her dad and they're bonding. What's really cool about this ironic moment is the narrator says, you probably don't remember what you told me, but nothing is actually being said here. It's about this key moment where we zoom in on the father and the daughter and just the dynamic that they have with this glow ball. There's the stairs. Now we're outside. Far away angle, zoomed in shot. Even how there's a little bit of that slow motion as she catches that football. And then the final words that the narrator's speaking, I heard every word. And not a whole lot was said in the film, in this clip, but everything has to do with listening with your bodies, giving into that moment. And you get this final slogan here, this final, it only takes a moment to take a moment, which really drives that point home that it doesn't take a whole lot of verbal exchange. It's how you spend your time that really communicates, right? So you'll notice in the film, just to say, just this video clip here with this PSA, that there's a lot of emotional appeal. How does it make us feel? So one thing is they're feeling a certain way, the father and daughter, as they're giving all of these different exchanges. They're obviously very happy to make this moment count. And then we feel a certain way about it too. We're saying, wow, these are really great fathers making the time for their daughters and, from all these different age groups, being playful, just having fun. And we probably feel very good about this, very happy, very impressed, even though I think this is supposed to be something that's supposed to feel absolutely normal. So should we even feel impressed is another challenge in thinking about emotional appeal. This is something that fathers do probably all the time. Look at how many testimonies we get to visually see and orally hear as they're encouraging their daughters. It's not just one family we're focusing on, it's many. And so the argument here is that it's so normal and it's so easy to do, but look at the powerful bond that daughters and fathers can make in just a few minutes, whether it's inside or outside, whether it's daytime or nighttime, whether it's one kind of ball or another. There's a lot of love being shown here, and it's very powerful emotionally. And then ethically, you can see just the credibility of fathers being built here, because a lot of the time there are so many arguments where fathers are torn down in society, or we see absent fathers, but here it's so visually powerful because you see fathers who actually are there for their daughters. And then logically, you can see how it just takes a moment, just a little while, to communicate love for that person. There's a rationale here that it can be done anywhere and everywhere, and it can only and the timing of it is hardly anything at all. And the rationale here, we can conclude that there's a lot that we can do with our time and our space and with our hands and words of praise, even though there's not a whole lot that even needs to be said there. The takeaway, the rationale here is that daughters and any child will grow up knowing that their father is there for them, that they're present, and that communicates love in a very important, visceral way that even words can't always get across. So I hope this helps you see the piece more visually and orally in its multitude of layers. Thanks for watching and listening.